A few weeks ago, this video was popping up across social media, claiming this was a crocodile in Indonesia pretending to be a drowning human. It was also claimed this was a hunting tactic to lure people closer to the crocodile. I don't know if this video was intended as a joke or if it was actually serious, but it gained a lot of attention online and many were believing the claims. When I glanced over the video for the first time, my mind came up with a completely different thought as to why the crocodile was doing this. I simply believe the crocodile was upside down and was in a state of tonic immobility. Much like sharks, when crocodilians are upside down, they go into a trance-like state and become immobile. However, this is not something they typically stay in for long periods, only being in the state for a few minutes at the absolute most. A healthy crocodilian should be able to wake up, so to speak, and flip over on its own not too long after being upside down. If the crocodile had been like this for several minutes, then I would believe it would be unhealthy, perhaps having a neurological issue. I've also seen people, including experts, say it could be a crocodile using its arms to look for fish. Crocodiles have these tiny black dots throughout their bodies called integumentary sense organs, and what they do is detect vibrations in the water. This assists them in catching prey and allows them to know where a prey item is even if they can't see it in the water. It has been observed with at least saltwater crocodiles that they will float along the surface of the water with their arms stretched out, and it is believed they do this so they can better detect the vibrations of fish swimming by. This is the posture this behavior is typically done in, not while the crocodile is upside down, so I don't think this was what was going on in the video. I didn't really think or look at the video much due to the absurdity of the claims tied to it, but then I discovered that the animal in this video isn't even likely a crocodile. Marissa Tellez, a crocodilian expert of the Crocodile Research Coalition, decided to examine the video in depth and had this to say.
This is not a crocodile, this is most likely a monitor lizard. And let's look at a couple of features here. One, look at those chubby little arms and those long digits. One, crocodile's arms, they're not that chunky, nor do they have very long digits. This is very much that of a feature of a monitor lizard. Also, if you continue to watch the video, there's a point where a couple times it seems like the head of this animal kind of surfaces, and it's more that of the shape of a monitor, not that of a crocodile.
In all honesty, I didn't feel the need to make a video on this due to the fact it seems so blatantly false. But on the other side of things like this really do need to be addressed. We are currently living in a time where people are refusing to learn how to coexist with alligators in Florida when they move to the state, and there are calls for culling crocodiles in Australia, amongst other things related to human-crocodilian conflict. If people seriously think that crocodiles are pretending to be drowning humans to fool people, this can sway opinions towards unnecessary management plans for the species. The solution for human-crocodilian conflict needs to be based in reality, and debunking things like this is one step to keep the discussions more grounded. So the giant crocodile study I brought up in my last video has a couple updates. First off, Rom and Nick Whitaker expressed interest in writing this with me, so it's awesome they want to be involved. Secondly, the last few days I've been really concentrating on compiling all the data I've collected, and it is a lot. The first thing I've noticed in terms of historical claims is that the saltwater crocodile just blows every other species out of the water in terms of the sheer quantity of reports. As I've mentioned before on the channel, salties are the only species to be confirmed 20-footers, but looking at it from a historical perspective, it's a no-brainer. Based on what I'm seeing too, I'm honestly starting to think the possible 23-foot maximum for the saltwater crocodile may be too conservative. Based on my time researching this subject from a historical perspective, I've long thought the saltwater crocodiles could at least get up to 25 feet in length. Ron Whitaker, who's very skeptical of reports and looks at things from the biological perspective, even had this to say.
I would kind of guess that since we do have proper measurements of two 20-footers, Lolong and the oboe croc, that 25 feet is not an unusual possibility. I mean, that is definitely in the realm of possibility.
However, really looking at everything in a more organized manner is making me more strengthened in my belief. Not saying as of now that we'll get a confirmed length of 25 feet anytime soon for the crocodilians of today, but I do think there's some evidence. To keep up to date with my research, I've now got a Patreon, which is only $3 a month, and it gives updates on my research as well as reports on other current events with crocodilians. This is a 10'9" American alligator that was in someone's backyard, and it was myself, Ron, and Marshall, the other county trapper. We showed up, and Ron currently just got the gator by the neck with the noose, and Marshall's trying to get another rope on the gator. And what we're trying to do right here is we're trying to pull the alligator to the tree. The plan is we'll get the one rope around the tree. We're going to bring the alligator closer, just like I'm doing right here. And then what we'll do is we'll get another rope around the gator's neck, pull it in 2 different directions to prevent it from rolling. And then we'll get another snare around the jaws so we can get it shut. As you can see here, the gator just rolled. This gator loved death rolling. It was definitely more of a memorable capture. It was memorable for me because as of right now, this 10'9" gator is still the longest one I've caught. I wouldn't say it was the heaviest. He was a little bit on the thinner side, but at the same time, a 10'9" American alligator is a 10'9" American alligator. This one too, I was having a very relaxing morning, and Ron calls me up. He's like, "Hey, how's your morning going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's going good. Eating breakfast, watching TV." He's like, "Yeah, you want to catch a 10-foot alligator?" This is that same 10'9" alligator with a 7 to 8 footer next to him, and this big guy is now living his days somewhere in captivity. This is an alligator I caught that was in a parking lot, and as you can tell, it's underneath the person's car. So currently what I'm trying to do is get the rope around the gator's neck behind the jowls or the jaw muscles. And this is a little tricky because I want to make sure I don't damage the car. So I'm just trying to hope that I get the rope around the gator's neck and just yank him out. So I got him, yank him out. And like I said, don't damage the car. Pulled him out. As you can tell, this gator is full of energy. And I start to slide the pole off. You slide the pole off as soon as you can because they will beat you with it if you don't pull it off. So I'm pulling the gator around, and I don't want to take him to the pavement to pull him around because I don't want to damage his snout or anything like that. So I'm trying to keep him within this kind of patch of dirt and leaves and all that. Because I want to work him, I want to tire him out, but at the same time, I don't want to hurt the alligator. So, as you can tell in the video, I'm just kind of taking him around, just kind of doing laps. So now the gator's tired out, so I'm ready to jump on him, and I hand the rope to an officer that was there. I think his name was Mitchell, Officer Mitchell. So when you jump on an alligator, I'd say at least 5 foot, you should have another person holding the rope and keeping it taut while you're jumping on him or pinning him down. So walk around, got the tape, put it in my mouth, and I go jump. And when you jump, it's simultaneous. The hands and your knees should be at the same time. And I'm working the gator's jaws right now and bringing it up. And to be honest, I think I could have handled it a bit better. I'm using this alligator head to demonstrate. When you're pinning an alligator's head down, so you've jumped on it, your hands are on the neck. One way to do it is you take one hand and you slide it over the alligator's eyes, push the head down, then tilt the head a little bit. And then the other hand that's on the neck, you slide it over. And then once you've got a good grasp of the jaws, the other hand slides over and you bring the alligator up. And that's what I did in the video, sort of. In the video, the rope is like sideways like this. So I couldn't slide my hand over like this without the rope getting in the way. So what I did was I pushed the head down and I kind of disconnected from the alligator. So my hand kind of went away for a second. It wasn't anything really dangerous or crucial. Obviously I'm still here. I still have my digits. But in hindsight, what I could have done, given the fact the rope was in the way, is I could have used my left hand to slide over the alligator's eyes, tilt it, and then that would allow me with my right hand to still be connected to the alligator as I slide over to the jaws, maintaining contact the entire time as I'm working with it. So now we've got the alligator and just taping it up right now. Normally you do about 7 rolls around the jaws themselves, give or take. But then the main thing is once you get to the eyes, you just want to make sure you're completely covering the eyes just to calm the animal down during transport. And I'm done here. Telling the officer, thanks, and about to call Ron, tell him I got a caught gator. To learn more about the animals you just saw, buy the second edition of What We Get Wrong About Crocodilians. It examines claims of giant crocodiles, a World War II massacre, regenerating tails, alligators in the sewers, their record land speeds, and more. The book examines claims many, including experts, get wrong about these animals, and the second edition includes updated information, pictures, and more. Buy What We Get Wrong About Crocodilians, the second edition, in physical or digital formats. Link in bio, comments, or description to buy.